Hi, my friend. You are about to discover the simple three-step process to marketing and selling new construction homes that's been right under your nose all this time and you didn't even realize it. And this is all without Facebook, Instagram, Redfin, Realtor.com, or Zillow. So if you're driving, you might want to pause this video and pull over or bookmark it so you can come back. If you're at home, I recommend shutting down social media, get to a silent place with no distractions, put your phone on mute, grab a pen, and get ready to take some notes. See, my agenda for you today is, in a small amount of time together, I'm going to give you little effort strategies that will provide big impact in your real estate and business life. And my aim is also to create confidence instead of uncertainty, completely shatter any confusion you may have so that you have clarity to give, share, and show you exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do it. If that's okay with you, we're going to keep moving on. So why should you listen to me? Like, who is this guy? You probably don't know much about me, so let me give you a little glimpse into my life. My name is Damon Green. I am a real estate marketing coach and consultant, and I am huge on family. My family is hundreds of miles away. However, I'm with them often, and they are the reason that I do what I do. You'll see we have family vacations. I took a family vacation. I actually took my family on vacation several years back. First family vacation, full family vacation. Me, my parents, my kids, my sister's kids, all of us to Puerto Rico for 7 days. First family vacation in 20 years. Awesome. You see, I include my children in a lot of things. I'm big on experiences. You see me and my girlfriend at the track, at the Porsche track in Atlanta. That was amazing. Photo shoots and video shoots with my sons. I include them in my business ventures so that I can raise them to figure out what they want to do. So very big on experiences, getting out, teaching, training, helping. And I love I love loving life. I also get a chance to hang out with some really cool people. You see a couple CEOs here from some popular real estate softwares. Good friend of mine, Brian Anderson, the CEO of Parkbench there. Got the chance to hang out a little with my oldest son. Again, I like to include them in what we do. Sorry, that's my youngest son. My oldest son actually had to work. So that's us with Bon & Bo, executive producer of Cleveland Hustles with LeBron James, and chief growth officer for several Fortune 50 companies. And I've also had the distinct privilege to speak at some pretty exclusive events and in front of some good crowds. This is Ace Chapman. He's an internet business flipping mobile and private equity fund manager. He runs Portfolio Sharks, and a couple times a year he brings some of his students in for about $3,000 to $5,000 each, puts them all in a room, and he teaches them a bunch of stuff to help them with their internet businesses. And I was allotted the privilege to come in and speak to them. And I've also hung out with some cool people. These are actually speakers, two of my good friends and one of my clients at Inman in San Francisco. They were speaking about apps and using apps in your real estate business. And Nathaniel happens to be an Iconic Agent client and also nominated for one of their most recent awards. So that's just a little bit about me. So what I'm about to show you now, the lawyers make me say this because it's true, unfortunately. But the results you're about to see are not typical because most real estate agents that learn something new that actually works are lazy. I don't think that's you, but that's just how it goes. They never actually take action and do it, or they don't do it long enough or consistently enough for it to work. Why else should you listen to me? Because these are the type of results my clients get. That's a $30,000 check, in which he kept a majority of that after the broker split, from what I'm about to show you now. Here's some more results. Over $1 million in sales from one pre-construction property and counting, and there's actually a $1-point-something million penthouse on the fence. They're working some financing stuff out, so that hopefully that'll roll through for him soon. Here's some more results. 30 leads in 4 days, one appointment for a new construction schedule. And some testimonials. This is Nathaniel from One Sotheby's down in Aventura. Damon has helped me generate thousands of leads, sell over $8 million additional pre-construction. If you're a serious agent willing to invest in your business, I highly recommend scheduling a strategy session and seeing if you're a good fit. It's well worth the investment. And here is Justin. Justin is a longtime client of mine. He's a Keller Williams agent down in South Georgia. Actually, South Atlanta, not South Georgia. Damon helped me generate more leads than I can handle, and his marketing expertise, if you're an agent and there's an opportunity to work with him, take it, unless you're on the south side of Atlanta. So now we can go ahead and start and introduce myself a little bit to you. Let me tell you what to expect. I'm going to show you a simple strategy. It's a 3-step process for generating project-specific leads and selling new construction with little to no competition. What this isn't, so I don't want to cause any confusion, this is not a push-button software to spit out leads on autopilot. This is not a Facebook marketing training. This is not going to allow you to sit behind your computer and generate piles of commissions, and this is not some repurposed garbage that's just theory. What this is a proven system that works in any US or Canada market, a proven system with millions of dollars in sales and commissions behind it. You've seen and you'll see. And this is the only new construction marketing training on the market in existence today. So if you're still here, it sounds like this is a good fit for you. So let's go ahead and continue. I want to address a few questions that I often get first. What if you're a new agent and never sold new construction? Any agent, old or new, can leverage what I'm about to teach you. Do you have to go to work for a developer? That is a common misconception. You do not have to put your license on hold or leave your brokerage and go to the developer's brokerage and sit in the sales center. That's not what this is about. You are representing buyers that have interest in a new construction project. They are your leads. If they don't like that project, you can take them elsewhere. Can I learn this if I'm not tech savvy? Let's step back. Did you learn to read? Did you learn to write? Did you learn to walk? Did you learn to use a smartphone? Have you learned to use social media and email? If so, the biggest question I have is, did you learn what you needed to learn to get your real estate license? If any of that is a yes, then that question is a moot point. Because if you can do those, you can do this. It's just a matter of saying, hey, let's make this happen. And I have a very simplistic and easy way of taking complicated things and making them easy to understand. So, now that's out the way. And last question is a valid one. Will this work on resales? It absolutely will. The challenge with resales is they're usually limited. Whereas new construction, you have a lot more inventory to work with. Be sure to stay for the entire video, and I have a free gift for you. I actually have 2 free gifts for you at the end. So in this video, you're going to discover how not to lose thousands of commissions selling newer pre-construction. You're going to discover how you've been overlooking piles of commissions on a daily basis and you didn't even know it. You're going to discover how to get developers and on-site sales staff to work for you. You're going to discover how to easily find profitable new and pre-construction projects, market and sell them with little to no competition. And of course, you'll learn the simple 3-step PDA process on how to leverage the untapped demand for high commission paydays. If you're listening right now, you have the advantage. Leverage the fact that most agents won't take action out of fear, self-inflicted confusion, or pure laziness. My question to you is, with what you're about to discover, will you act upon it and use it to your advantage? If that's a yes, let's keep going. Now, if you're ready to learn a crazy, simple, and highly effective way to market and sell new construction homes, you're in the right place. Okay, so here it is, and it's simple. It's a simple 3-step PDA process. Find the projects, find the demand for those projects, and automate. Now, when we talk about finding projects, we're going to find available projects. You want to pick and choose projects that excite you and get you the highest commissions or help you reach your goals. The importance of this step is knowing the available projects in your farming area will allow you options. Some projects might be more popular and a better fit for your ideal client, and having choices of what projects you want puts you in the driver's seat and allows you to deposit bigger checks. So the keys to finding the project: you want to find qualified projects, get project details, and most importantly is build relationships. So here's a story of a agent that heard about a new project that was mildly priced in the area. Didn't really pay too much attention to it and almost overlooked it because she was working on something else. And at my insistence, stopped by the sales center and found out that the starting price of the condos was $300,000. There's a 5% commission payout, which is more than typical, which is $15,000 commission per sale. And she wasn't really sure if there was any demand, but once I convinced her to go ahead and run with this, use what I taught her, found out she almost missed out. Over 3,000 people were looking for the project in 30 days. The average cost per lead that she was able to get was $7 per lead. She ended up generating 48 leads. She only spent $300, and she had 2 immediate appointments for showing. Had she not done the due diligence and paid attention, this wouldn't have happened. So I say this because when you're looking for projects, don't just pick the first one you go with. You want to kind of look and see what's out there so you know what's the best fit. And with the right project, you're one project away from an additional 5 or 6 figures in commissions. So where do you find projects? Just look around. They've been under your nose all this time. Developers will typically do the work for you. So developers and builders usually do the work for you. They take most of the effort out of the research because they put their projects right in front of you and their customers. But they're not the greatest marketers. I'll explain. Look around. Think about how many of these types of signs you have driven by on a daily basis. What do you think people that drive by these signs do? They immediately jump on their phones and try and get more information. Now, if you're fortunate enough to be able to remember the property name or the builder name, that's great. But one thing that builders are not really good at doing is leaving the right information. When you look at any of these signs, do you see a contact number that sticks out in your head right away? Do you see a contact number? That is most branding that the builders do, and you use that to your advantage. I'll explain to you more on that. Fence wrap, same thing. They'll have websites, they'll have names. People are driving by these, walking by. Most people don't just pull over and stop. So next time you're around, that's what you want to do. You want to go around, snap pictures, write down all these locations, and come back and build a project portfolio. You want to document the signs, stop, keep a notepad in your car, take a picture on your smartphone, use a note-taking tool on your smartphone like Google Keep or Evernote, OneNote. Again, take a picture. You're literally driving by commissions every day. Unless you are in a rural areas, these are all around you and you don't even realize what's right in front of your eyes. Also, when you go to the grocery store, you have to go to the grocery store at least once every 2 weeks. There's magazines right in front of you, commissions sitting right there in the grocery store. Pick them up, build a portfolio, document which projects look good, which projects would attract your ideal customer. Ask yourself, who is your ideal customer? Do some research online, find out what's around. You can use Zillow, Realtor.com, Google. There are other sites that you can go to find out what projects there are, but you want to basically build out, and I like to use spreadsheets. You build out what projects are around, etc. TV commercials, YouTube. This is a huge one, and we talked about the relationships a little earlier, but developers and builders would typically throw presentations, and they want a bunch of agents to come in and say, hey, we've got this awesome property, and you need to send your clients here and sell them here because we're going to take care of them. Well, that's how you start building a relationship. That's one way. And that's where the real commissions are made, when you have the relationships with the builders. So spend time on researching projects. You can screw everything else up I'm about to show you. If you get this right, you can still make your way to the bank. So the key project elements we talked about, first is finding a project. Now we have the projects found. We've got everything laid out. You've got a notebook or on your phone or a note-taking application. You know what projects that seem attractive to you and you think that your ideal client would actually be interested in. Now we need to go down and get some details. And this is where the fun begins. Now, it's important to pay attention to the details because you have to know your numbers. So first question to ask and document is, what is the inventory? Current inventory and future. Are they just starting on phase 1 and they're building 400 homes? Or are they on phase 4 and they have 2 left? Very important to know. What is your goal? So you want to write these down. What is your goal? Your goal, if there's 125 homes, you want to sell 2% of those, that's 3 homes. So we have 3 homes in this particular subdivision that we want to sell. Choose a price point that will attract your ideal client. Oftentimes I've spoken to hundreds of agents, and I so often heard, I'll just deal with anybody that'll pay or that'll buy or sell and is willing to, pay my commission. That's not really the way to go. A lot of agents I hear complaining about, oh, this person can't get qualified, or they're yanking my chain, and don't deal with those people. You don't have to deal with those people. That's all in your head. Who is your ideal client? What is a price point that would attract your ideal client? Does the property fit that price point? Okay, that is something else to determine. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. What commission is paid to the buyer's agents? Commissions can range from 1.5% in some areas to 7% in others, sometimes even 8%. It depends on the builder and it depends on the area. So, what are the commissions? And when you pull all that together, and if you look at a certain price point and your goal to sell X number of homes at this price point, at this commission, there can be a huge difference. That's also something you need to know, because you could be busting your butt generating leads for one and end up doing the same thing for another and making a lot more. And this is why research and finding the right projects is important. It's not about just, oh, here's a new construction. Let's pull it all together and let's stop and plan. Let's think about it. Here's why it makes a big difference. So if we go with a subdivision, let's call it Project B, that has 175 homes. Price point's $324,000, and our goal was 2%, which was about 4 homes. So our goal is to sell 4 homes at $325,000. 1% commission, that would be $19,000. 3% commission, that would be almost $40,000, and a 5% commission would be $65,000. So if we take 2 projects, one of them's only paying 3%, and the other one's paying 5%, that's $30,000, almost $30,000 difference. You would not know that unless you did the work up front. And then again, lastly is, once you figure out your top several projects, the key is, I'll tell you the key in a minute. So it takes a little bit of time, but this reward is huge. Again, you can screw everything else up behind this. Get this right, you can laugh your way to the bank. So here's why knowing your numbers is so important. Here's a video shoot I did several weeks back with an iconic agent. Brand new construction. There's about 200 homes being built, a combination of townhomes and single families. They only had 5 sold. The starting price was $400,000, and it's a 5% commission. That is the perfect storm, and there's no competition. Like, it doesn't get any better than that, and there are a lot of these types of opportunities out there. So, on top of that, after you document all that, you know your price points, you know the commissions, area information. So now what you want to do is find out, what are the amenities? One of centers is the builder offering. What would make this attractive to your buyer, your ideal client? Is the project competitively priced to other homes and projects in the area? Does it make sense financially for someone to come and buy this project? Remember, would this project attract my ideal client? So now we have finding projects, where to find them, what to look for, get the details, know what makes sense to you. And then lastly, which is the most important, just because they're paying 5% commission doesn't mean they're going to welcome you with open arms. That's where relationships come into play. And you have to build relationships to make sure that, and foster those relationships and make sure everything is above board. Again, the most important thing is relationships. And here's how not to lose out on $4 million in sales. True story. This is a property down in the Bay. It's townhomes in the Bay in Florida. They started at $425,000 when they were in phase 1. An agent established an initial relationship with the on-site sales associates. They loved him. He came in, worked some things out, started a campaign, and sold over 10 units over the course of about a year. Unfortunately, he didn't follow up to make sure the agent was still there and talk to them. So let's do the math. That's 10 units at $425,000 per unit starting price, 6% commission. That was $255,000 in commission. Now that's just commission. $4.2 million in sales from one agent, $255,000 in commissions. Guess how much this agent actually took home? Because there's splits and what have you. Absolutely zero. Why? Because he did not continue the relationship. What happened was the initial sales associate, and this happens often, left, didn't communicate what was going on. The new agent that came in, on-site sales agent, he did not communicate with her. So when he finally did, she called him and said, hey, we have people coming in from your email campaigns and some videos you're doing and some advertising you're doing, and I need you to take that down, or we're going to have our lawyer send you a cease and desist. Now, everything was above board, completely legal. There was no misrepresentation or anything. This was just somebody that wanted to get cool points and did not appreciate the fact that he was doing her job better than she was, and he was a threat. So now she had to take him out. And long story short, everything came down. He said, screw it, and moved on to other projects. But without the relationships, that is a distinct possibility. So you have to stay on top of those relationships. And that's why relationships are the most important part of this entire process. So don't let this happen to you. Build those relationships. So the key project elements we talked about: finding projects, getting the details, building relationships. Now you have a database of projects you want to work with. You've picked A, B, and C. You're a top 3. You've built relationships. You've talked to the on-site sales agents. They know who you are. They might even let you come in and do like we did and do a complete video shoot or a photo shoot or whatever you need to do. Awesome. Now what? So that was the first step in the 3-step PDA process. Now we get to go find a demand. We know the projects we want to use. We know the projects you want to promote. Now let's go find a demand. So finding project demand, the D in the PDA process, we're going to find out how popular your projects are with your ideal client. Now, the importance of this is knowing demand will allow you to truly determine if you should spend time marketing your project. Is it really worth your time? You don't need to flip a coin or guess the demand. You'll know exactly which projects have more demand, and that'll help you prioritize them faster. And if you want to start with one and then move to the next and then move to the next, that's fine. Or if you just want to focus on one, which I recommend starting out, then you can do that. But now, again, you know your numbers. You know this project has the most demand, is paying 5%. There's 150 units there of inventory. All the stars align. Let's go. And then again, with a high enough demand, you can start generating leads within 24 hours of setting this whole process up. So first off, we're going to do a quick demand check, and we use free tools to find how your ideal clients are looking for the projects that you're interested in selling. So say we're looking for Atlantic Station condos, and this is a quick Google keyword planner. You can use tools like ubersuggest.org or even keywordtool.io just to get a idea of what people are looking for. This will give you a litmus test idea of the demand. It's not going to give you a true idea because these tools don't give you true idea. What I'm about to show you is how you find out with absolute certainty the true demand. But this is a good weighing point to see, okay, this has more demand. There's more looks here than there. So if I were to look for Atlantic Station condos and that was something that I wanted to promote, I'd see this had a pretty good demand on a monthly basis. You're looking at 400, about 500 people a month are looking for that. Definitely something I'd want to go after. But again, that's not the full true story. Once we get an idea, free tools don't give us 100% of the truth. We want to find out the 100% truth of the demand. So we want to know exactly how our ideal prospects are looking for our chosen projects. That's the true demand. So we're going to force Google to give us the keys to the kingdom and tell us exactly what the demand is. And let's stop and sit back for a minute. I said we're going to force Google to tell us. Yes, we're actually going to force Google to tell us. Is it legal? Absolutely. But stop and think. This is why the system is so powerful. If you catch anything out of this presentation, why do people go to Google? They're intentfully looking for something. So they have intent. So when they have intent looking for the project that you want to promote and there's demand, that's why the system works so well. Instead of estimates, let's get to the actual demand. We're going to force Google to tell us exactly what the demand is. And not just what the demand is, we're going to have Google tell us what the demand is and what our ideal customers are actually typing to find the project that we want to market and sell. So here's how to find true demand. We'll use project-specific keywords, the ones that we just found out our ideal clients are using to find information about the projects we want to sell. So let's use Atlantic Station for an example. 3-bedroom condos for sale in Atlantic Station. Availability of condos for sale in Atlantic Station. We can play around with keyword tools and try and find these keywords, but I knock all that out the door. That's hours and hours of research. We don't have to do that. This is the most straightforward, upfront way to guarantee you find out what people are looking for. Then we're going to set up simple targeted Google ads. We're going to use the project-specific broad match modifier keywords. Now, what is broad match modifier? You put a plus in front of the words that have to be in the keyword phrase. So for Atlantic Station, we're going to put a Atlantic and station. It has to have Atlantic in it. It has to have station in it. And then we're going to target a radius 15 to 20 miles around that project because typically that's who's going to be looking for the project. That's how we can get to the specificity and force Google to tell us exactly what our ideal client is looking for. Set up a simple one-page lead generation site, and then you wait 24 to 48 hours and Google will tell you exactly what the demand is on those keywords and send you buyers. It's that simple. Now, the simple ads I talked about, it's a simple template. You don't have to be this mega copywriter to start off and make this happen. The project name in the headline, which typically are project-specific keywords, the project name in the URL, and project benefits in the description. You get project benefits by going to the developer site, if the developer has a site, and pulling down what are the benefits they have. When you have your documentation, what were the incentives they offer? What were the amenities? What is going to be attractive to your ideal client when they read this ad? And ads cannot be long. Short, punchy, 30 character to 80 character sentences. That's it. So here's an ad template from Unbounce, and this just gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. Keyword in the title, keyword in the URL, benefits, call to action. Real simple. We set up simple lead generation pages. These are copy-paste lead generation pages. They look ridiculously simple. They'll work better in some markets than others, completely customizable, but we start off with the simple ones that are always proven to work in every market, just like this. Simple. Not a fancy MLS landing page. Nope. Simple. Works. The process is like having a crystal ball because once we set up the ads and once we set up the landing pages, now we get real demand. And here is a project that we'll use as an example. After 24 to 40 hours, Google told us the demand for this project, which happened to be a little over 2,000 people were looking for this project. And I think this was over the course of 3 or 4 weeks. Again, it sounds really simple. It literally is that simple. There's no need to overcomplicate things. So once we set up our ads, we find a demand, we set up our ads, we set up the landing page, we start running it, we start generating leads, or we start getting data. Now we optimize. And what is optimizing? Really simple. We determine our important numbers. We make it better and scale. So we talk about knowing the numbers. If we go back to the Project B, 175 homes, we're going to sell 4 at $325,000. So we do this. At $324,000 and a 3% commission, if you have the worst split with your broker, a 50-50 split, you spend $5,000 and you get your lead cost down to about $12. At a 1% conversion, that's 500 leads. 1% conversion is 5 sales. If your split is 50-50, you take home $19,400 from a $5,000 ad spend. That's a 288% ROI and $14,000 profit. Those are the numbers we want to get down to. You know you put 5 in, you know you're walking away with $19,000. One Iconic agent's numbers for an ad spend of $5,000, the gross commission per $5,000 spent is $50,000. So every couple months, $5,000 spent. Every couple months, $50,000 comes back in. Rinse and repeat. It's literally like printing money, and it's all about the ROI. So now we've gone over the 2 steps of the 3-step process: projects, demand. Now let's talk about automation. And automation is where this really helps. Following up with the leads immediately takes the heavy lifting out of converting the leads and lets you do what you normally do. And you simply need to close the sale. You're 90%, this is important because you're 90% more likely to close a lead if you communicate with them within 5 minutes of them coming in. 90% of agents don't do this and they actually obliterate their chances of making the sale. Automation is what allows you to clone yourself and reach out immediately. So meet Nate. Talked about Nate a little earlier. He's a Sotheby's agent in South Florida. Now you see Nate was smiling, but he had a huge problem. Okay, what would you do? Nate was watching his 7-year-old, some was 7 or 8 years old, watching a Little League basketball game. Of course, the gym was super loud. He could barely hear himself think, and his phone rang. It was after most people's work hours, in the evening, and his wife gave him a look of death. You know that look that you better not answer that phone. So like any good husband would do, he stared at the phone for a few seconds, then he put it back in his pocket, smiled, and watched the game. But because he already had automation in place, the lead texted him back, notifying that he was visiting the sales center in the morning. Nate texted the lead and arranged the showing without ever talking to him. And here's why he's smiling. He made $436,000 sale of a home that wasn't even built yet, pre-construction at 6% commission from a cell phone at his son's basketball game. That's the power of automation. So the way you should automate is the lead comes in, the lead gets a text message immediately from you. The lead gets an email from you instantly. The lead gets dropped on a 5-day drip sequence. The agent, you, get a text message and an email simultaneously, which you can distribute throughout your team, and then the agent closes the sale. So these are what the text messages look like. Over on the left, the agent gets a text message, property name, lead comes in, phone number, email, so you can instantly reach them. If you're out on a showing, in an open house, at dinner, you instantly are notified new lead came in. And immediately the lead also gets a text message that says, hey, this is Damon, or this would be you, but hey, this is Damon. Just want to follow up with the email that I just sent you about the new construction project. When's a good time to talk? To invoke a response. That's how Nate closed that $436,000 sale. So here's the basic framework. Lead comes in from an ad. They hit the landing page. They fill out your property details. They get an SMS and an email. The agent receives an SMS and an email, and it gets dropped in your CRM. So that's the 3-step PDA process. Now, so far on this video, and the brief time we've had today, I've given you the exact formula I've spent years perfecting and shared with other agents that have gone on to increase their annual take-home commissions by 5 to 6 figures. You immediately possess it and the power that it holds. So you now know how to easily find potential new construction projects, how to analyze each project to see if it's a good fit, how to pick projects based on your ideal client and who you want to work with, how important it is to set a project goal, how important knowing your numbers is. You now know how critical establishing relationships with developers and sales center associates is, and how not to lose huge commissions. You now know how to determine the true demand for a project. You now know how easy it is to generate leads that are hungry and ready to go with simple ads and lead pages. You now know the most effective ways to automate the entire process so you can literally clone yourself and not take time away from doing what you're already doing today that is working for you and bringing in revenue. Best of all, you now know numbers don't lie, how to determine the ROI, and legally print money. I've given you the confidence to know exactly what to do to market and sell new construction property as a buyer's agent. I've sprinkled in a few tactics and tricks and near effortless things you can immediately use that are simple to implement and can have a profound effect on the results and your bank account. All this and much more in the short time we've spent together today. Now, if you made it this far, and since you stayed this long, I wanted to give you access to this masterclass video gift, which is the 3-step PDA process, a checklist for finding projects, the ad template, and the automation blueprint. Everything we just talked about. Now, ask yourself, do you feel more comfortable marketing and selling new construction and pre-construction homes now? Were you happy with what you learned in this video? Do you realize the huge advantage you now have in the market with this cutting-edge technique? There's literally no one else out there teaching this stuff. Can you see yourself using what I just showed you today to help grow your business and increase your commissions? even if you just use a small fraction of what I showed you, would you say your time was well spent? And if you would like to spend more time together going even deeper and further into how to master marketing and sales of new construction and pre-construction homes in any market, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We scraped the surface in about 40 minutes. Even if we had 4 hours, it would be hard to create a lasting change to give you the full extent of the benefits of all that I can give you. So I was left with two choices. I could leave you here at this video with a few takeaways, these few takeaways here, or I can give you more. So if you'd like the opportunity to really dive into this and achieve massive results like many of the iconic agents are achieving today, I want to introduce you the Iconic Agent New Construction Marketing Mastery Program, the secrets to unlocking hidden commissions right in your own backyard. The simple, predictable, step-by-step new construction marketing training for generating high-quality leads and huge commissions with little to no competition. This is a step-by-step training covering the entire 3-step PDA process, which contains 4 modules that will take you from newbie to new construction marketing mastery in as little as 4 weeks. It consists of 6 hours of detailed step-by-step video training. You'll have complete guidance with simple step-by-step, easy to follow videos that make implementation a snap. You get a complete breakdown of the 3-step PDA process, no stone left unturned. You'll receive all the presentation slides to print out and keep at your desk for reference or on your phone. Everything you need from beginning to end is covered in these 4 modules. You'll receive homework after each lesson with specific action steps to ensure that you get your marketing campaigns live and generating high quality project specific leads quickly without frustration and confusion. You also have access to a behind the scenes of an actual new construction lead generation case study. This is a literal over the shoulder case study of an actual new construction campaign that began generating leads and appointments within 24 hours of setting it up. There's no theory here. You watch over my shoulder as I walk through the entire 3-step PDA process and see a real world campaign from setup to generating leads as well as campaign improvements. You'll be able to follow along and swipe ideas that you can implement in your own successful campaigns as well. You get complete access to the Iconic Agent Black Book of checklists, resources, cheat sheets, and tools. You'll receive additional cheat sheets, checklists, tools, resources to help you get ramped up quickly and stay on task. You can print them, save them on your hard drive for easy reference or for your team to access as you need them. You'll also have resources and tools to speed up the process and remove all the obstacles so you won't get stuck. You'll also receive lifetime updates and top-tier customer service when you need it. We have a responsive customer service. Your questions are responded to through our ticketing system within 48 hours when you need it. You'll receive lifetime updates to the program. Marketing is about testing and knowing what works. You'll be the first to know of any changes, new tactics, new strategies and tools and resources to improve your campaigns in real time. But there's much, much more, but I don't want to take up any more time. And I also need to caveat that this program is not for everyone. This is the only proven real estate agent new construction marketing training in existence today. You can go look for another one online. There is no other. You must qualify to gain access. We need to vet you and make sure that you aren't in any competing markets and aren't just kicking tires or trying something else under the sun instead of focusing on what works. You have to be in it for the long haul. The way you gain access is schedule a strategy session to see if you qualify. Go to theIconicAgent.com/book my call. Again, that's theIconicAgent.com/book my call. Or at this point, you should see a button underneath this video. You can click that and schedule a call. If you have any challenges with the scheduling system, send an email to support@theIconicAgent.com and we'll make sure that we get you scheduled. Calendar schedules are limited, but would love to talk to you, see if you're a good fit, get you enrolled in the program, and really get you going. So it's been a pleasure. There's your free gift that I promised if you stayed through this whole video. and head on over to theiconicagent.com/book my call. It's absolutely no obligation. If you're not a good fit, I will also, or one of our reps will also work with you to point you in the right direction to help you. Again, everybody's program is not for everybody. And if it's not, I'm not going to leave you high and dry. Kind of give you a couple tips. Make sure that you leave with some value. So go ahead to theiconicagent.com/book my call, or click on the button underneath this video on the landing page. And I look forward to talking to you.